I think this video is important, so for the first time, I'm gonna ask you to share this video if you have found it impactful. Ha! Check it out, Harambe's back! Welcome to part 1 of a series that I'm gonna call Being Vegan. It is not with great enthusiasm that I start this series. But for part 1, I think we're gonna have a little bit of fun and kind of talk about my history of eating animals and their juices and kind of go from there. If you are already vegan, welcome to the party. I hope you can relate to my story a little bit. I think it's a good one. If you're vegetarian, spiritual, religious, questioning, whatever it might be, I hope you find something useful in here. And congrats on making it this far, I think, right? And if you are here to find flaws in some social justice warrior's way of living, bring it on.
For the boys team is going to be another junior. It's a distance runner, Antony, who also qualified for the Dayton Regional. What I didn't say earlier is last Friday at the district meet, he set the Turpin High School 2-mile record in a time of 9:28:63. Congratulations, Antony.
So the clip you just watched was taken at the end of my junior year in high school. I did end up breaking my own record again, but that's not really the point. But this is where it all started. I've only been vegan for 2.5 years, so that clip was actually 4 years prior to me becoming vegan, but sometimes it takes a while. I loved running. I'll be showing a couple clips kind of interspersed in here just to kind of give you a sense, but running was my life. Running got me into college. Running gave me friends. Running gave me an outlet. Running increased my health. Running helped with my need to be competitive. Running gave me a passion for long-term health. And that's kind of where we're at right now. I gave up fast foods when I was like a sophomore in high school because I knew that they would slow me down. I knew that they weren't good for me, right? And I had to get over the fact that they tasted good, because what tastes good does not equal benefit to anything. Just because it tastes good doesn't mean it's a good thing. And that change was quickly followed by I gave up soda pop. Soda pops, Coca-Colas, all of it. With that, I say I gave up. I do drink a couple here and there, ginger ales occasionally, but no more than 1 a month. So it's minimal. So they're bad for you. Just don't, please, save yourself. But kind of the funny thing about this is I actually ate a lot of cafeteria food even then. I hadn't even come close to giving up meat or dairy. I was consuming all of it. I was very skinny. I was actually 20 pounds lighter than I am right now and being the same height, which blows people's minds because I don't have anything on me as it is. But that's kind of what happens when you run 50 miles a week. And even kind of with taking, you know, what I put into my body in concern, I actually had chronic heartburn. I was taking pills almost every day. Long story short, I don't have heartburn anymore. But going back to my high school self, my life was dominated by running. And I did almost everything I could to be the best runner I could be. And I think to an extent that's what set me apart from many people who chose to run cross country. I dedicated everything to it, and some people didn't want to do that. And that's totally fine. People are different, but I hope that puts it into perspective of how serious I was. So in learning about, you know, what healthy choices were and what could make me a better runner, I started to become kind of conscious of what I was putting into my body. One nutritionist told me, your body is like a car. If you put garbage into the gasoline hole, your car's not gonna run very well. So we are a direct result of what we put into our bodies. Period. It is that simple. And high school Antony knew that. High school Antony figured that out. And it fundamentally changed my life. Knowing what is healthy and what wasn't healthy started to kind of create a gap in my brain right? Like I knew dairy really wasn't good for me, but I was also told that dairy builds strong bones and dairy makes you stronger. So I really didn't know. So it wasn't until a while later when I kind of learned that things like dairy it's literally poisonous for you. And in this series, I'm not gonna put any links to any resources. They're out there, and they're really easy to find, and you've read them before, you've heard about them before, and you've either chosen to agree with them and make a difference, or you've chosen to disagree with them and not change your life. There are literally dozens of documentaries on Netflix alone that will cover everything. So I'm not gonna do the work somebody else has already done. I'm basically saying that, and I hope that's okay. So past kind of health and knowledge, in high school I started to kind of realize a cognitive shift in the way I view life. This is kind of when I started to read more into Buddhist practices, and that's kind of when I learned the difference between sentient beings and non-sentient beings. In Buddhist belief, rocks aren't sentient. They don't have life or cognitive ability, right? But animals do, from a giraffe to a butterfly. Plants don't really have a central nervous system, so they don't really qualify, if that makes sense. There are people out there that believe that plants have souls. I don't disagree with that. I just know plants don't feel pain in nearly the same way that a dog does or a cow does. Does that make sense? So in high school, I knew I wasn't gonna give up meat because I knew that humans ate meat and it was a fact of life. And suffering does exist, and suffering is a fact of life, right? There is suffering. So what I did was I really was consciously trying to thank God for the food that I had been given and for the animal that had given its life for me to survive. And I was okay with that for a very long time. Many years. You know, I would sit down to dinner and I would look at this chopped up carcass on my plate and be like, these nutrients are going to benefit my body so I can go out in the world and help others. Do you see the problem with that logic? You can't help others by putting others down. It's not how life works. And I was ignorant to that fact. So moving kind of forward, I kind of grew in my spirituality a lot, and I'll talk about this in another segment, but I am substance free, and I've never chosen to use alcohol, and my spirituality has a lot to do with that. In a very similar manner, it kind of arose out of wanting to be a better runner. You know, drinking alcohol would jeopardize my status as an athlete, and I wasn't about to jeopardize that status. And then my beliefs changed as I kind of got older and started to experience the world more so, if that makes sense. Now, when I became a senior in college, this was 2015, and I decided for Lent that I would give up meat, cheese, eggs, and the only dairy I would intake would be some protein shakes and some other things just to make sure I didn't die of a protein deficiency. I was super smart at the time. Now, I'm not Catholic and I'm not even Christian, but I love the Lent practice because essentially what it says is give something up that you do not need in your life so that you may take in something that will benefit you or benefit others. So let's say you give up television so you can go volunteer. Right? Does that make sense? Or let's say you give up ice cream so you can eat more broccoli, right? And it's a chance for you, with the support of other people, to make a difference in your life and in the life of others. I don't know exactly why I chose to give up all those animal products for Lent that year. I had a really good friend at the time, her name was Faith, and we decided to do it together. So that was also really helpful. And through the Lent process, I had also given up video games by myself. So if I was gonna play video games, I was gonna be doing it, you know, to build community or to friendship and stuff like that. And I'd also given up television and movies unless if they were documentaries or something that I was gonna gain, like a TED Talk or something like that, right? So I'd have to be learning in order to look at a screen. And I told myself during this Lent period that I would watch all of the documentaries about animal cruelty and the animal agriculture industry, environmental sustainability, health impacts of eating animals, all of that. I don't know why, but deep down I knew this was a choice that I had to make. And I needed to make it informed, and I needed to give myself the resources to be confident in that decision. I knew I was vegan when I was in high school. I had just given myself too many excuses. And I did not have the resources to actually make the change. So overnight, one night I had a hot dog, and then on February 10th, 2016, my life began. And I say that while I'm getting goosebumps on my arms. Being free from causing other living beings suffering is the single most liberating experience that I've ever had in my entire life. I can now look at a dog and say, I'm going to treat you the exact same way that I'm going to treat a cow, a cat, a giraffe, and a ladybug. Because you are all God's creations and we are all sharing this planet together. And you do not deserve to feel pain. I said earlier that I follow a lot of Buddhist practices, and in short, Buddhism is the search to end suffering in your life and in the life of others. If God made animals to serve humans, why would He make them feel pain? Why would He make them in a way that if we consume them, we get sick, we get diabetes, heart disease, stroke, cancers? And why would He make them in a way that by farming them, we're destroying our oceans, we're destroying our atmosphere, we're destroying farmland? I think I can confidently say that at this point in my life, I am actually living in accordance with my values. And I am done running from things that are hard because they are hard. Just because something is hard does not mean it is not worth doing. Ask anybody who's been a firefighter, who's overcome a learning disability, who's graduated from college, who's, you've done hard things in the past, and they've been rewarding. So here we are. There will be more parts of this series. I don't know when they're going to be, and I'm not exactly sure what they're going to be about, but look forward to them. This is going to be probably the most serious one of them all. Maybe not. I think the animal cruelty bit is going to be kind of serious because it's a serious issue, and I look forward to making them. I think this video is important, so for the first time, I'm going to ask you to share this video if you have found it impactful. If you want to tear me apart on your Facebook, go ahead. Comment below why, and let's have a conversation. Because no great social change has ever come about without a dialogue. And I think one of the biggest powers for anybody on either side of the spectrum is to listen and understand the point of view of somebody else. That is all. Happy Friday, and I'll see you soon.
Hi, you've reached Antony. Please leave a message after the beep. Thanks.